Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I've felt inclined to make this video because last night or yesterday I saw the Batman v Superman rated R cut, the Ultimate Edition, that was announced back in March prior to the theatrical release date in March, on March 25th, excuse me. And so we have known that this cut was coming for a while, but we didn't know it was going to get a theater release. And I believe it only released in about 12 theaters across the United States. I don't know about international markets, but so last week they announced it. I got tickets for me and my brother to go, and I was someone who enjoyed the theatrical cut very much, especially for what it was. It has its problems in the editing department, very poor editing. The way that it's kind of pieced together is very loose, very, very, very loose strands, pieced together the film scene by scene. And I'm a really big fan of Zack Snyder's Watchmen 3-hour cut, as it is one of just the most magnificent comic book films ever made. I love The Dark Knight. I love Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Absolutely brilliant. And, you know, people had gotten to see the director's cut a little bit early, and they were saying that it's absolutely excellent. It's a huge, huge, massive improvement over the theatrical cut that they didn't like very much. So I see the film last night, 3 hours long. And usually a 3-hour film can be not very exciting. I mean, sometimes it can be, especially with, like, Lord of the Rings and a few other films. But when I saw the film tonight, I was constantly drawing comparisons to the theatrical cut because, I mean, this is essentially a new film, almost entirely. And when I recognized watching the film last night that while I was watching the theatrical cut, I kind of felt like I was drudging and treading along at a very, very slow pace to be able to get to the end result of the film and just going through scene by scene. And it's a very unconventional type of film. It definitely goes about telling its story in a different type of way. But you can tell they had to cut the film down and trim it so that it can be released in theaters to its maximum potential. Because if you make a 3-hour film, you're going to get less theaters. That means less eyes on the cut. Plus, the cut was rated R. So that means that kids or teens, it might be a little harder for them to get in if they want to see the film. So you have to appeal to as many demographics as possible, especially with characters such as Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, right? So, when I saw the film last night, excuse me, I can without a doubt tell you, with absolute 110% certainty, that Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition is one of the single greatest comic book films ever made. The story that it tells, and I already got this sense of it in the theatrical cut, the story that it tells is bar none one of the greatest storylines I have ever witnessed in a comic book film. Shakespearean in every sense of the word. Tragic. Brilliant. It's truly a brilliant film. And I'm just amazed at how captivated, enthralled, and engaged I was in the film. That might partially be because I was in an AMC Prime theater for the first time, and I've never experienced a film in AMC Prime before. But that's just a part of the experience. A film is the majority of your experience. And the film that I saw last night is like I went on an entirely new adventure. Like I had never seen any of these scenes before. I'd never seen any of these characters interact before like I had back in March. And just blown away. Absolutely blown away by how amazing this film is. The film moves along at like a really dramatic pace, but it hits those beats just right to where you're never bored. And I found myself sometimes in the theatrical cut being like, oh my god, like I said earlier, just kind of like moving along, just trying to push through the molasses. Here though, it just hits everything. And it's not even scenes are added. There are 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 scenes that are added to the extra 30 minutes. But more importantly, it's just moments. Moments added in dialogue between characters, character exchanges, character moments that really elevate the film as a whole. It elevates character, it elevates motivation, it elevates everything. Everything in the film. So when you start the beginning of the film, you get this dramatic re-entry to the death of the Waynes, and then you see the tie-in to Man of Steel, and you're like, I'm hooked. After that, though, in the theatrical cut, it kind of starts losing its focus just a little bit. You kind of feel that things are loosely connected, but it feels like it's losing its focus. Here, though, my goodness, I just cannot express enough how Zack Snyder managed to be able to take all the heat and criticism for the 2 hour and 30-minute cut to then have this released, and now everybody, mostly, I'd say about 99% of the people that have seen the Ultimate Cut, or the Ultimate Edition, have praised Zack Snyder's vision. Now, a big turnoff for Batman v Superman and Man of Steel were the character arcs, the character motivations, the handling of these characters. People are like, it's not true to the character. And I could not disagree more. Not going to get into spoilers, but Zack Snyder does a really amazing job with his comic book films, especially his epics, Watchmen, Batman v Superman. He does a really good job with deconstructing characters and putting them in a universe as if they lived in our lives, or lived in this world. A 2016 Superman, a 2016 Batman. So what he does, though, is he takes these characters, okay, we've got the model here, and he takes them apart piece by piece. He just breaks them down. Boom, knocks them over as if they're glass. He has a hammer, knocks them down. Batman does the same thing. Wonder Woman, she's not in the film that much, but he sort of does it, hints at it. Lex Luthor does the same thing. Lois Lane, same thing. So what he does is he really gets the sense of these characters to where these characters need to go through a point, or a valley in this case, go through a valley of just complete and utter turmoil. Superman in Man of Steel, which I believe is another brilliant film, he goes through these trials and tribulations that, for a person one day on the job as Superman, it's a really hard task for him to overcome, and he's faced with the ultimate task of facing another god and having to kill the last of his kind to save the lives of thousands. And when you see his arc transfer over into Batman v Superman, you get an understanding of where Clark is as a person, as with Superman. You see moments in Batman v Superman where humanity is ultimately given up on this godlike being. Humanity has turned on him. They don't embrace him. But he's trying, and he's trying, and he's trying, but nothing is giving. So when the film gets into its later stages and we see big moments happen, you understand that Zack Snyder has taken not only Superman but Batman and other characters and brought them straight down, plummeting straight into the ground of just their weakest points. They're broken. They're flawed. They're not here yet. You have to earn that title of being a hero. And I feel like that is a true character arc. By being able to show the changes in a character's perspective or point of view on life and certain things, however it fits your universe or your story. And we see these characters battle it out against each other with their own ideologies and outlook of what is true justice. We see different perspectives, and we understand now how broken Clark is, how broken, truly broken Batman is. And I can tell you guys, like, it's almost unlike anything I ever thought possible. I mean, ever since I saw the film back in March, the theatrical cut, I already knew it was the deconstruction of these characters within our world. How would people react to a 2016 Superman? We get one or two scenes in this film that basically mirror our society. And for me, and maybe it's just because I'm a fanboy, and that's fine, there's nothing wrong with being a fanboy about certain things, but I wanted to try and understand people's distaste towards this film, and I couldn't truly see it. And for me, if anyone tries to try and convince me that the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman is not good is insanity. It's just a tour de force of filmmaking. It's so tragic, and it's so epic, and it's just everything you want in a tale, in an epic tale. It's everything you want in a story. And it's got characters with layers. It's got broken characters. It's just got everything. It's got a great villain. It's got great action. It's got everything you want, not only in a comic book film, but as a film in general. And maybe I'm a little high on the ultimate cut more than other people. And that's fine. But for me, it affected me in a way where there were moments where I just wanted to clench my fists and just scream, hell yeah. Like, this is a film. This is filmmaking. And I had the luxury, or I was luckily enough, able to sit next to a man who is very technical in like cameras and film projection. Just everything that has to do with film projection. So like LCD lighting and like reels and speakers and all this stuff. He knows all the technical stuff about films. He's just a real big geek about it. And I talked to him about it a little bit before the film. But as the film concluded, we kind of chatted about the film. Whole theater clapped. And we were kind of chatting. And he looks at me and he says, you know what? To be quite honest, you're not... he didn't say not. Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice has some of the best color palettes in all of comic book films, and some of the best you will see this year. I said, I was kind of taken aback because I've seen a lot of complaints about Zack Snyder's color palettes and choice of color in his films. And I asked, well, why is that? And he said, well, it's just the way how they utilize the colors in telling this story and what type of story it is. And he says, you will not see it, or not, sorry, it is one of the best looking films, color palette wise, that you will see this year and in any comic book film. So it got me thinking, well, how come everyone else says that his color palettes aren't good? Zack Snyder's color palettes aren't good in his films. Turns out that we really need to stop acting like we know everything we need to know about film. Sometimes I've done it, you've done it, plenty of people have done it. But when that man told me that last night about how the color palette is utilized to its full potential, blown away. I mean, I've never had a problem with it before, but to find out that is true use of colors in this film and for that type of story from someone who was very technical. I mean, I'm telling you, he was using terms I had never heard of before. Amazing. A true geek, and I would definitely not lie about it. I mean, just to defend my stance, he seriously told me, like, that's the real deal. That's color paletting at its finest. And I said, there it is. And I feel like a lot of people really get on Zack Snyder's ass about it. And I think this is it. Like, this is Zack Snyder's masterpiece. This is Zack Snyder's magnum opus. This is Zack Snyder's true vision of Batman finally on screen with Superman. This is the one. And we got it. 3 hours, kicked ass. I was engaged. Roger was engaged. We were locked in from beginning to end. And we were taken on such an epic adventure that I seriously cannot stop raving about. I cannot stop raving about it. I just got on Facebook and talked to a bunch of people and said, oh my goodness, unbelievable. Just compelling. Enthralling. Just everything you want in a film of this caliber. And I know I probably sound redundant, and I know I probably sound like I'm repeating myself a lot, but I simply do not care. Everybody, even if you hated the theatrical cut of Batman v Superman, even if you're not a fan of long and lengthy movies, do yourself a favor on July 19th when the Blu-ray comes out, or whenever it releases on Redbox or video on demand. Hell, if you want to see it now on digital HD, rent the dang thing and watch it. Because I swear to you, that this cut of the film is mind-blowingly good. It's everything. And maybe I'm sensualizing the situation. Maybe I am a little bit. But I rarely do it. So you gotta give me a little bit of credibility here to where I'm like, I don't really do this a lot. I don't come out and say, get hyped. It's incredible. It's truly incredible. And I've gone on now for 15 and a half minutes. You're probably like, I keep hearing all this crap. But do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor, ladies and gentlemen. Because the Batman v Superman film we always knew we wanted, or the type of film, or how good it was, or how great it was, is finally here in all of its glory.